Would you leave everything familiar behind because of a promise and travel toward a place you had never seen? Abram lived in Haran with his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and a large household. He had possessions, servants, animals, routines, and a name people knew. Then God called him to leave his country, his wider family, and his father's household, and go to a land that God would show him. The destination was not placed in Abram's hand like a finished map. What he received was a promise. God would make him into a great nation, bless him, make his name great, and use his life so that blessing would reach families far beyond his own. Abram was 75 years old. This was not the easy restlessness of youth. Leaving meant loosening years of security. It meant asking Sarai and the whole household to trust a future they could not yet see. The call also carried responsibility. Abram was not traveling alone with a small bag. Every decision affected people who depended on him and animals that needed water and pasture. Obedience required planning, patience, and honest leadership. Trusting God did not mean ignoring practical needs. It meant organizing those needs around the direction he had received. Still, Abram went. Tents were folded, water skins were filled, grain, tools, clothing, and household goods were packed. Herds were gathered. Sarai joined Abram, Lot traveled with them, and the caravan moved away from Haran. Every mile made the old life smaller behind them. Dry plains opened beneath an enormous sky. Dust clung to sandals and animals. At night, fires marked a temporary home. By morning, the tents came down again. Faith did not remove the hard road. It gave Abram a reason to keep walking it. There must have been mornings when the next horizon looked exactly like the last. More dust, more distance, and no visible sign that the promise was nearer. Yet obedience is often built from repeated ordinary actions. A single heroic moment may begin a journey, but daily faithfulness carries it forward. Eventually, the travelers entered Canaan and came to Shechem, near the great tree of Moreh. The land was already inhabited. Abram had arrived at the place of promise, but he had not arrived at an empty country waiting to be claimed without difficulty. There, God confirmed that this was the land. Connected to Abram's future family, Abram responded by building an altar. Before he built a permanent house, he made a place of worship. He marked the moment, not because every question had been answered, but because the one who called him had remained faithful on the journey. Abram then traveled into the hill country between Bethel and Ai. He pitched his tent there and built another altar. The tent showed that he was still a traveler. The altar showed where his trust rested. Then he continued south toward the Negev. Genesis does not describe a quick leap from call to fulfillment. It shows one obedient movement after another. Leave, gather, travel, arrive, worship, and continue. Abram would make mistakes later. His faith would be tested, corrected, and deepened. But this first journey established the pattern. He acted on God's direction before he could see the complete outcome. The promise was not a reward for Abram being flawless. It was God's initiative, calling one household into a purpose that would eventually reach many peoples. Abram's response mattered, but the foundation was the faithfulness of the one who called. That matters because many important decisions begin in the same uncomfortable space. We may know the next faithful step without knowing the entire route. We may need to release familiar security, start again, apologize, learn, serve, or move forward while the result is still hidden. Faith is not pretending there are no risks. It is trusting God enough to obey what is clear while leaving what is not clear in His hands. Abram began this chapter with a call and a promise. He ended it in a tent, still traveling. Yet his journey was already becoming part of a blessing much larger than he could imagine. What next step do you already know is right, even though you cannot yet see where the whole road will lead?